Hey guys, today I will be reviewing this Logitech Create Backlit keyboard case with smart connector for the iPad Pro. So in this review I'll be drawing comparisons between the Logitech keyboard, which I have here, and the Apple Smart keyboard, which I have had a few hours with, but I ended up choosing the Logitech keyboard. Both of these are available in the Apple Store, so hopefully by the end of this review you will have an idea of maybe which keyboard you like. I have had this out of the box for quite a while, but I've kept the box and I've put it back together to show you guys what it's like when you purchase it. So this is the front of the box and the back of the box with just all the general bump and the advantages of having it. So powered by smart connector, backlit full-size keys, protective cover, resists scratches and spills, typing or viewing mode, and built-in iOS shortcuts. So I'll look into those in more detail when I have this on my iPad. When you open it, they make a feature of the backlit keyboard, as they have the iPad in darkness and the keyboard lit up. This is what you see when you open the box, and it's just held by a magnetic seal here. This is the keyboard without any iPad in at the moment. It comes with this sheet in the top, just again highlighting some of the features of the case. Pretty similar to what was written on the back, and this just pulls out. This is the side that your iPad slips into, and this is the keyboard side. I'll just give you a close-up of that before I put my iPad in it. As you probably already know, this is very similar to a Mac laptop keyboard. So you place the iPad almost on top of the case, or this is how I've chosen to do it, and then you sort of just push it down into the case. The first thing I noticed when using the Logitech keyboard was the weight. It does add a pretty significant weight to the iPad Pro. But some reviews online have noted that in fact it adds too much weight and it makes the experience a bit uncomfortable when using it. But in my opinion, I think it's fine. It does feel more like a laptop in weight when you add this keyboard, but that's fine with me. I'm pretty comfortable with it. And this leads me on to the amount of protection that you get for that weight. You get pretty significant front and back protection. You get quite a thick layer on the back of your iPad, as well as the back of the keyboard. Apple's smart keyboard is £139, whereas this Logitech keyboard is £109. But as I've already noted, with the Logitech keyboard, all areas of your iPad are protected. So bear in mind that if you do buy the smart keyboard for £139, you're probably going to want to buy a separate plate for the back. And the silicone one is another £65 on top of that, so that makes it a total of £204 when you could just get the Logitech keyboard for £109. Also, if you want any other colour than grey to match the smart keyboard, it's going to look totally mismatched. The Logitech keyboard comes in three colours. There is a sort of midnight blue and a black, which both come with a silver metal keyboard and black buttons, so it looks very much like an Apple laptop. And then the keyboard that I have here, which is the red one with the gold keyboard, so looking more like the MacBook Airs that were recently released in the colour gold. In my opinion, the Logitech keyboard only really has one mode, which is the one that it's in now. Whereas on the back of the box, it does say typing or viewing mode. So I googled viewing mode, and this is what came up. Now, in my opinion, this is the position I have my iPad Pro in when I am typing on it without a keyboard. So I don't really see the point of that, and I don't think that you can call it a viewing mode either. A viewing mode looks more like that. Now, the smart Apple keyboard can give you that. It does give you both the typing and viewing position. But I have noticed that this Logitech keyboard has much better stability. And even though the smart keyboard can bend itself into more positions, if you have it on your lap, then It doesn't feel stable. It feels like it could fall out of the viewing mode at any point, and to be honest, it just gets frustrating using it on your lap, whereas the Logitech keyboard is 100% stable. I haven't had a single problem with it using it on any surface, to be honest. Moving on to the keyboard, unfortunately it doesn't get any better for the Apple Smart keyboard, because again the Logitech keyboard has won hands down. It's a million times better. The keyboard is backlit. This backlit keyboard is extremely useful. So if you're combining the structure and the keyboard, say if you're using this in bed, it's going to hold its position while providing you the backlit keyboard, so you would have no problem at all using this. I'll just turn it off. Moving on, there are some brilliant shortcuts on the Logitech keyboard, and I will show you some of these now. There's a lock button here, which is useful if you just want to leave your iPad like this and then say go grab a cup of tea. And more importantly, the entire top row of keys are present, which I can't quite believe that these are not on the Apple Smart keyboard. So this gives you access to quick shortcuts such as volume and brightness. When I was choosing between my two keyboards, it was this row of buttons on the top that led me to go with the Logitech keyboard. And now, having used it for a week or two, I will say that I couldn't do without these buttons now. It would be driving me nuts. Also, there's more added features, such as the search button, which is great, and I've been using that more and more, and this wasn't really a feature that I used on either my iPad or my iPhone, but I love using that. And also the home button, which again is really useful. You don't have to reach up here every time you want to return to the home screen. And there are loads of other features on this keyboard as well, which in my opinion just makes it better, unfortunately, because I am an Apple sheep and I would have loved to have bought the Apple Smart keyboard, but this time I think I had to buy sensibly. Also, when using the Logitech keyboard, you get the overall feel of a MacBook keyboard. But the question is, do you want a feel of a laptop? Because a lot of people, I suppose if you choose an iPad Pro, you don't want that laptop feel. You want something different, because otherwise you'd have just gone and bought a laptop, especially for the price of the iPad Pro. So to be fair, the Apple keyboard definitely gives you the feel of something different. They've got those nice tailored keys with the material, so if you spill your drink on it, you won't do, well, you shouldn't technically do any damage to the keyboard. So there are nice additional features on the Smart keyboard which does separate it from the Logitech. And just a quick note, as I'm sure a lot of you know, both keyboards use the magnetic connector, so there's no difference there. I think you might know where I'm going with this video. In practicality, the Logitech keyboard does win hands down, as all the key areas are covered. So your protection of your iPad, it's stable when you're using it, and you've got all the keys you need. But if you're looking for style, then the Apple Smart keyboard does look pretty good. And I really did have to think before getting this Logitech keyboard. But now I have this and I use all the buttons, especially on the top row, and all the shortcuts on a regular basis, as well as I didn't realise how beneficial the backlit keyboard would be, but it definitely is. And also I haven't had to go out and purchase any more protection for my iPad. I am covered all bases and I have no problem throwing this in my bag. Also on the outside, it's remained really clean. I'm not sure how the Apple Smart keyboard holds up to scuffs and marks from inside your bag, but I have had a few sort of rubs on the end of it, and it has just come off with a wet wipe actually. So thank you very much for watching my video looking at the Logitech iPad Pro keyboard. I hope I've answered any questions you might have while looking at the advantages and disadvantages of the keyboard.